So MSNBC had the luxury of speaking to Dr. Jill Biden at the White House. And of course, it's MSNBC because they are one of the leaders in the woke liberal media. Number one, it's funny that the First Lady has to give an interview about a reelection campaign because the president isn't capable, in my opinion. Number two, is she thinks we are going to believe her, who has covered up for this man time and time again. When they're on stage, she has to lead him off by hand. She has to stop him from speaking because she knows that he is not capable of being the president of the United States. But again, in my opinion, she needs this because she thinks she's something that she's not. She's not a doctor. She's a PhD in English. So she's an English doctor. Okay? But they all refer to her as Dr. Biden, like she's this great medical genius. Well, give me a break. So we're going to watch this video together, and I'm going to stop it periodically and break it down the way I see it. So let's go.
You've been married to President Joe Biden for 46 years. There have been Senate races, 3 presidential campaigns, 8 years of your husband serving as vice president. Unthinkable personal loss and challenge. And now democracy is on the ballot. What do you think?
Okay, right there. And of course, and now democracy is on the ballot because the Democrats believe that they are fighting for democracy because everything they've done is to make our country a great democracy. But they did nothing for 2 years during the George Floyd violent riots. They called them peaceful protests, and there were Democratic congresspeople out there insisting that these people stay and fight because St. George Floyd was murdered. And they're afraid and they're running scared that a Republican is going to come in and stop all the damage that they have done. And they don't want that. They want it to continue so they can rule with an iron fist like a dictatorship.
When you hear that people say, well, I just can't vote for Joe Biden this election, what is it that they may not know about him at this point, especially when the alternative seems to want to change this nation so radically?
Well, Miko, when I was dating Joe, one of the things that drew me to him was his strength. And
his strength drew her to him. Well, that was a long time ago. I think they've been married like 46 years. So back then, he was probably of sound mind and sound body. And maybe he made some good decisions, but mostly not. Because if we go back and watch some of his Senate speeches, it was nothing but racism and one-way Democrat politics. So strength, that goes right out the window.
At that point, he had been through the death of his wife and baby daughter in a car accident. And then, later we experienced the death of our son to cancer. Throughout all of this.
Well, at least she admitted that Beau Biden died from cancer. Because every time you hear Joe talk about it, he tells us and wants us to believe that his son died while at war in Iraq, which we all know is not true. We all know he died tragically from cancer. So I'll give Dr. Jill 1+ for that comment that he died from cancer. That wasn't a lie.
I saw Joe as steady and calm and resilient. And actually, when we got here, I felt that he knew how to rebuild this country because he had rebuilt our family out of tragedy.
So he knew how to rebuild this country because he rebuilt their family out of tragedy. The only thing tragic about the United States right now is everything that Joe Biden and the congressional Democrats have done. They've made this country the mess that it is. He has done zero other than make it worse. But because he rebuilt his family after loss and death, he's qualified, of course, to make this country what it should be. That's laughable.
And I think what people don't see is how hard Joe works every single day, that he gets up thinking what he can do for the American people. And he does that, his job doesn't end when we just have dinner together at 7:00. He's on the phone, and he's on the phone with leaders of foreign countries.
He gets up thinking what he can do for the American people. No, I think the real answer to the question is, what does he do? It's my opinion that he gets up trying to figure out how he's going to keep his son out of prison, trying to figure out how he's going to keep funneling money to the Ukraine, and he's trying to figure out how the Democrats can completely take control over everything a United States citizen does. He's not worried about the American people. He's worried about himself, his inner circle, and his criminal son, who we all know should be in prison right now for the things he's done.
And he's on the phone with his cabinet, or he's on the phone with somebody who's lost their home because of a tornado or gone through some personal problem. So I see that strength and that resilience and that steadiness every single day.
Wow.
And he's on.
Okay. He's on the phone with someone who lost their home to a tornado. If you recall, when he went to Maui after the wildfires, he again told the story of how he almost lost his home when lightning struck and his Corvette was almost destroyed. When we know the truth, and the truth is the firefighters arrived quickly and it was contained to a small kitchen fire. So there was never a tragic blaze. His prized Corvette was never in any danger. But he likes turning every tragic event into something that happened in his life. And we've heard it over and over again. So we all know that's just another fairy tale.
Flappable. And when I look at the man, his integrity, his character has not changed, and he's unwavering. He's unflappable.
Yet another presidential campaign. This would be, what, your fourth?
Fourth. Oh, yeah, fourth.
Wait, is it?
14th campaign.
Exactly. Potentially another 4 years in the White House, yes, with everything you do here. Does yet another one give you any pause, thinking of like the personal health and well-being for both of you, the division in this country, the cruelty of MAGA Republicans against your family? Just any...
That reporter is so pitiful. The cruelty of MAGA Republicans against their family. The Republicans are doing now to Joe and Hunter Biden what the Democrats did to Donald Trump for 4 years. They went above and beyond to try to stop him, try to put him in prison, and they failed. Yeah, they got him impeached. He did not leave office. These people are a disgrace. They actually believe their own lies. And it's always MAGA Republicans. What I always really never understood is why the Democrats were so against the slogan MAGA, Make America Great Again. Why wouldn't everyone want America to be great? Why are they so scared, and why are they so defiant against a simple slogan? We've all seen it. Some people wearing the red Make America Great Again hat and people say it's racist, it's triggering. These people, the Democrats in office, and this woman and her husband are the frauds. We all know Republicans aren't on the up and up as many like to think they are. Every politician has their skeletons, but Joe Biden has storage units full of skeletons, and we all know this. But Dr. Jill and this woke reporter want us to believe that they're under attack by the MAGA Republicans. Give me a break.
Part of you once in a while think, oh, maybe we bow out.
You know, that's why I want to go through yet another campaign. Because I think, as Joe says, democracy, our freedoms are what's on the line. And so Americans have a choice, you know.
And you notice she said, that's why I want to go through it again. Because it's about her. Because she thinks she's something, again, that she's not. She wanted to be First Lady so bad that she would have literally put sticks on Biden's legs under his pants and walked him out to a podium if he couldn't walk. Democracy is on the ballot. Freedoms are on the ballot. These Democrats want to take our Second Amendment rights away from us, not to own firearms. They want to take our First Amendment rights away from us, freedom of speech. We all know today we can't say certain things, and if we use the wrong pronouns, we get chastised for it. These people are a joke. They are running scared because they know Biden is the worst president in the history of our great country, and he's a fraud, he's a liar, and he's a criminal.
Can have strong, steady leadership, someone fighting for democracy, or they can choose chaos and division.
And with all that said, we all know one thing. Jill Biden is just another fairy tale storyteller, if you will. Just like Joe, just like Karine Jean-Pierre, just like Kamala Harris, just like everyone who was in Joe Biden's corner. Joe Biden cannot make any decisions on his own. He is not making any calls or any policies. He is listening to someone, and we all have our theories on who that may be. Is it Barack Obama? Is it Hillary Clinton? Or what have you? They're all no good. So again, Obama started the downfall of America. He started the hatred against law enforcement. And of course, we all know how oppressed the Obamas are, living in an $11 million estate on Martha's Vineyard and having a home in Hawaii, I think they have. They're very oppressed. Jill Biden is a fraud and a mouthpiece for her husband, who she knows is a failure. She knows his brain is compromised. She knows he has dementia. How many times have we seen her have to lead him off a stage by hand while he looks around like he's in space? This is all a show. It's all a game to these people because they think the American people believe all their lies. This needs to end, and Joe Biden needs to be removed from the White House and removed from a re-election campaign because, quite frankly, Joe Biden is not going to be the Democratic nominee this year. Absolutely not. He will not make it to the finish line. My worry is that Michelle Obama is going to throw her name in the ring, or Gavin Newsom is going to throw his name in, or even, God forbid, Hillary Clinton. But Joe Biden will not be the 2024 Democratic nominee for re-election. He's not going to make it to the finish line. Their whole Democratic Party and their family, they're all a fraud. They all need to be put behind bars for what they have done to this country, especially letting millions of undocumented aliens over our borders and letting them go all throughout the United States without being checked. Terrorists, drug runners, human traffickers, sex trafficking. That's what's coming through the border. And Joe Biden and his inner circle does not care. They want this country to be run with an iron fist, and he doesn't have that iron fist. We need someone who's going to lead, bring us back to prosperity, and stop the clown show that is the Biden administration.